The budget end of the ute market is pretty busy, and the quality of these cheaper and cheerful workhorses is improving all the time. This is the new Chinese-built LDV T60 Trailrider 2. It's had a few minor styling changes, but the big news is the engine. It's smaller than before, but it's producing more power and more torque. So with all that in mind, is this ute worth your consideration? Well, that's what we're here to find out. For even more details on this vehicle, read my full review at carsguide.com.au, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, hit like, share it with your mates, and make sure you hit subscribe to stay up to date with all of our reviews. Also, while you're at it, check out our other Trailrider reviews on the CarsGuide site, as well as on YouTube. This is an LDV T60 Trailrider 2 dual cab ute. It has 5 seats, a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, and a 6-speed automatic transmission. That smaller engine produces better power and torque than the previous generation. It has selectable 4-wheel drive and an on-demand rear diff lock. Standard features include 19-inch black alloy wheels, a 10-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay but no Android Auto, remember that, and rear parking sensors, a reversing camera and a 360-degree view camera. The Trailrider does not have front parking sensors, adaptive cruise control or AEB. In terms of styling changes over the previous Trailrider, the sports bar has been redesigned and the LDV logo on the front grille is blacked out. The big Trailrider stickers that were on the sides of the previous Trailrider have been removed, and I have to say, I don't miss them. Elsewhere, it's all previous Trailrider styling with roof rails, nudge bar and side steps. In terms of dimensions, this new Trailrider is 5,365mm long with a 3,220mm wheelbase. It's 2,145mm wide, 1,850mm high, and it has a listed curb weight of 2,035 kilograms. The tub itself is 1,525mm long. Load height is 820mm and it is 1,510mm wide, but 1,131mm between the wheel arches, and it's 1,430mm wide at the rear. There are 4 tie-down points in the tray, 1 at each corner. There's also a pretty sturdy tub liner, but there are no power sockets back here. It has a lockable mountaintop roller cover, and while that does provide improved security, it reduces the versatility of the load space. It's big and roomy inside, and there's plenty of head, knee and leg room across the row. There's a fold-down centre armrest with 2 cup holders, air vents and a 12-volt power socket. The back row does have 2 top tether points and 2 ISOFIX points. Up front, that premium budget feel continues. The steering wheel is leather wrapped, the seats are leather trimmed and they're power adjustable, and it feels pretty well laid out and pretty well put together too. And that big 10-inch touchscreen dominates the centre console. We hooked up Apple CarPlay, no problems, but remember, there's no Android Auto. On-road, the Trailrider is better than you might expect. Sure, the engine is noisy and the transmission can be a bit clunky at lower speeds, and it feels a little bit underpowered at times, and the ride is a bit firm, but overall, it's okay. And off-road, the Trailrider 2 does pretty well. Its engine, it's not the torquiest thing around in this slice of the market, but there's enough there to get the job done. Engine braking is pretty good. Hill descent is surprisingly smooth. It's really even and fair in its delivery, going down steep hills. And its leaf spring suspension at the rear is pretty firm and pretty jittery over harsher corrugations, but that's what you'd expect in a ute. So all round it's pretty good off-road, but there are some trade-offs. It feels quite low. It always seems to find its belly on even innocuous sort of ruts. And the Trailrider's road tyres don't do you any favours off-road either. If you're thinking about using it as a work or touring platform, I'd throw a decent set of all-terrains on there. Visibility out of the cabin is pretty good all around, and you can always use that 360-degree view camera to show the view at the front, the rear and down either side of the vehicle, and you've also got that approximation of a bird's eye view to check out how you're going on the track. That big screen is pretty impressive, but the functionality, I must say, I struggle with it a bit, and I've got to warn you, the image depicted on that when you use the 360-degree view camera is pretty muddy looking in less than ideal lighting conditions, and that's just going through sort of mottled light in the bush. If there's a bit of cloud cover, that sort of thing, it really becomes hard to see what's going on there, and I wouldn't rely on it. It never feels as comfortably capable as utes that you've got to pay extra for, but it does pretty well in this realm of budget-friendly four-wheel drive utes. Steering is quite light and responsive, and that's handy at lower speeds and in low-range four-wheel driving. And its new 2-litre turbo diesel engine does a pretty good job. Sure, it's never as refined and never as stress-free as other utes, but again, you'll have to pay more for those. But in this realm, at this price point, it's pretty good. Payload is now 865 kilograms from the auto. Claimed towing capacities are 750 kilograms unbraked and 3,000 kilogram braked. All trail riders have a 5-star ANCAP safety rating from testing in August 2017. Safety gear includes 6 airbags, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, hill descent control, tyre pressure monitoring, and that 360-degree camera. As mentioned earlier, it does not have AEB. Fuel consumption is a claimed 8.5 litres per 100 kilometres on a combined cycle. The previous generation Trailrider's 2.8 litre engine had a claimed 9.6 litres per 100, so fuel efficiency is a little bit better, at least claimed. It was showing 10.1 litres per 100 kilometres on the dash display this time, but I recorded an actual fuel consumption of 10.4 litres per 100 kilometres. It has a 75 litre fuel tank, and every Trailrider 2 has a 5-year 130,000 kilometre warranty. The LDV T60 Trailrider 2 is a pretty decent ute, especially for the price. It's easy enough to spend time in, it's comfortable enough on-road, and it's capable enough off-road. It's not the most refined ute in the mob, not by a long shot, but you've got to spend more money for that. But in the cheaper segment, this thing is right up there. But what do you reckon? Would you consider the Trailrider 2 as your next ute? Tell us in the comments section below, but be nice and go easy on the swear words.